to our YouTube channel, Conversations with Sharon and Rosa.
I'm Sharon.
And I'm Rosa. This week we will be talking about lesbian parenting.
Whoa, that's heavy. Okay, you know, this topic alone, it covers such a wide spectrum of us in our life, and some of you may be, single, dating a woman with children, married with children, married, and I have 3 kids, and now I'm going to marry Sarah. All that, so it's all over. It's all over the spectrum. It really is. But it's going to touch a lot of you, but not all of you. But the question that we have going in today's conversation is, what are your thoughts about gay and lesbian parenting? And no 2 stories are alike. So Rosa is going to kick it off by telling all of you a bit about our story.
And I can probably guarantee that our story is very unique from, an average couple coming together who have children already. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a little more unique than most. But so Sharon and I have been married for 4 years, and prior to that, I met Sharon about 6 months earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of jumped into this marriage very, very quick, and a lot of people were like, whoa, what's going on? But because we had discussed some things, and it was kind of similar to, what would you call it, like?
Well, it was logical. It was a logical step for to take where I was and about to retire.
Sharon was about to retire, and she wanted to make sure everything was set before she retired. And so that kind of, we had already talked about it prior to, but it was kind of the rush.
Right.
As
we
to
accelerated.
why
It was accelerated.
As to why we did it so quick. But in the meantime, while we were getting married and getting ready to get married, my children were away for the summer, and they did not know that when they came back, their mom was married. So I had to sit down with them and have that conversation and let them know that Sharon and I were now married. And at the beginning, we were still in separate households.
Mm-hmm.
So, they weren't really fully aware as to what that marriage included. And then, we came together. And so the kids at first, they took it, I wouldn't say hard, but just different. They were teenagers at the time, and teenagers go through what they go through. My daughter now is 17, and my son is 14. So 4 years ago, we were going through a little bit more than what we're going through now. It gets easier as they get older, so that's a good thing. But so they had questions that I had to answer. They had some, they were uncomfortable with some things, and some things they were okay with. As far as Sharon goes, she had questions. I mean, she doesn't have any children, so this was a big step for her as well. So I, most of the time, felt like I was in the middle of the children, like the liaison from Sharon to them, from them to Sharon. So it just became crazy, and I would say that, the children, parenting the children was our biggest concern in our marriage. And so we had to, iron out a lot of wrinkles when it came to what that's going to look like, because it actually was a conversation that we had, but it really wasn't a conversation that we actually saw ourselves in until we were in it. Mm-hmm. So on that note, I'm going to let Sharon tell you a little bit about how she may have felt when this happened too.
All right, so one story, but 2 different perspectives. And as Rosa said, things were a little accelerated with us. We didn't do it intentionally, but that's just the way it rolled out. Me being older, I think we shared with you last segment, that there is a difference in age here. I am 65 years old. Rosa is not. So
I'm 48, and actually I am Generation X. When the last time I think we mentioned that I was a millennial, and I'm not. So but I wanted to make that correction.
So-
So I'm not as young as you all think I am, because I know y'all was probably counting and looking at the chart, but I am 48. So
Right.
just to put it out.
And not that, surely, just to give you information as the story builds. So here it is, I'm marrying a younger woman, your friends sticking to the wall like, and your family, like, they wasn't tripping that I'm gay, I've been gay forever. But it was just that, like, how young is she? She got kids, she got young kids, So with all of that, so my life is about to change. So realize when all this is coming together, I'm retiring. I am relocating because Rosa lived in Oceanside and I'm in San Diego, back and forth. And as I get ready to retire, I knew I only had to do it for 6 months, but still, it was a morning commute. And then, it's the children. The house we live in is a bigger house, because you got 2 kids. Rosa had already been divorced over 5 years, so it wasn't like I was coming in and shaking up everything. They knew their mother was gay. They knew their mother had a lot of women friends. They were really cool with that. Why was it so difficult to take me? And I felt pressed. I'm a Gemini. I'm like, well, how hard can it be? It's 2 kids, you love them, you clothe them, you feed them, you hug them, and you take them to Disneyland. Enough said. Well, it's not that easy. I was surprised at how much, in my mind, how much power, and I do say the word power, how much power the children had. Because remember, I'm a baby boomer. I mean, like, if mom and dad say it's going to be like this, it's going to be like this. So I'm not saying I'm so easy to love and get along with, but, I came in peace. And I wasn't trying to, make the red sky, the red room become blue, but I knew that it was going to, some getting used to. Kids are noisy. Kids hang out with other kids. So for Halloween, it wasn't just the 2 kids, it's 13 of their friends in the living room. That was a different experience for me. But more than anything, it was just trying to establish what's normal. If normal is at breakfast, mom makes breakfast and we all eat the same thing, like old school, as opposed to mom makes breakfast and everyone's got a different special order. And I'm thinking, why are we doing special orders? You cook oatmeal, you give it to them. I'm simplifying it just to, make a point. But it was, well, what time to go to bed? Or I know one thing that gave me a pinch, that she would allow them to eat their dinner in their room. And I'm thinking, no, we all come to the table. We set the table. We all eat together. We say blessings. They're pretty good about saying blessings. But so all of this was different for me. And they looking at me like, what planet did my mother go to get you? So, but then on the same token, I'm not trying to buy their affections, but I do need their approval, because not only do I love their mother, we're married. So with that, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know this till several months later, the kids was calling Rosa at the job, Miss Sharon did this, Miss Sharon did this, Miss Sharon made me scrub the bathroom, so I'm already the bad guy, right? Meanwhile, I'm calling my wife, sweetie, we need to talk about the kids. I told him to put on this outfit, and he came out with a different outfit, and so it was just so many different things, and it hit me right in my face. It really, really did. So I realized, of course, what the territory is. I'm marrying a single woman who's been a single mother for 5 years, and then here I come jumping to the middle of their world, and I kind of upset the apple cart. So there was a lot of me getting used to. I'm better now than I ever was, and I still need therapy.
I think the kids do too. But
but that's how it's
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it wasn't that I was married to Sharon that they had a pinch with. It was just that they were just used to us, and they were used to mom and just them. Mm-hmm. And my attention was on them, and my life revolved around my children.
Yes.
Because that's what I signed up to do, and that's what I was going to do. So it became a lot at one point, but like I said, the older they're getting, the easier it is. You know, they have their own opinions. They can talk and say what they want to say, and you know, I raised them to be very respectful, very you know, tactful when they're trying to say stuff. So,
And they are.
you know, all of that root work that I did, you know, came into play, and so now it's good, you know, and I'm not saying there's a magic way of doing it or even a textbook way of raising kids, but for us, we had to iron out a lot of wrinkles, and we had to come to a medium in our household just to
make it
be
work.
sane.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right,
'cause
you're saying,
no, for me it was to be sane, because like I said, I felt like I was in the middle. Sharon was right. She was calling me saying one thing, the kids calling me complaining about her, she's calling me complaining about them, and it's like, you know, just walking in the door, I knew I was putting out fires, and that was already
Look,
enough.
with the benefit of a nanny. So it's not like everything
Yes.
was on me, but I'll give you an example. This is real world, folks. So, you know, her house is larger than my house. There's 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Well, here it is, you know, me and Sweetie, we wake up in the morning, here comes my stepson, who is, you know, like he's 9
He was
years
like
old.
10 at the time.
10 at the time. He comes into our bedroom, knocking first, but he comes in to use the bathroom, and I'm thinking, you passed your bathroom to come to this bathroom, and I'm looking at her. I'm not used to seeing little boys coming down, you know, coming in my room in the morning to pee. So, especially when they have their own room, and of course, what does mommy say? It's okay, baby. It's okay, baby. So then we have what do we do on Saturday mornings? And they're used to, you know, wake mommy up, let's look at cartoons, and she's a good mother, and they're wonderful children. Rosa gets up and makes them heart-shaped pancakes.
I do not make them heart shaped.
Oh, you do. You do.
I make
And they love it.
pancakes, but it's not heart shaped.
Oh, they're
Nobody's doing
heart-shaped. So, and I'm
She's exaggerating. Like I told you, she is
dramatic.
the dramatic one.
So,
She's
So,
exaggerating.
and I don't want to, you know, not to make it sound cheesy, but I mean, I feel like I'm in competition with them, and I shouldn't feel this way. I'm a grown, mature woman, but I also realize, look, I surely have dated women with children, but I'm saying Rosa is really, you know, her world revolves around the children, and I'm like, when do you take a break? When and selfishly, when do we have Sharon and Rosa time? So working all that out, and God is wonderful, not to mention amazing, as it stands now. You know, with the split custody and everything, it's like, whew, it made everybody take a deep breath. So they're in New York half the time, they're in California the other half, and I'm glad to see them. I would even say I miss them. I do. I really do miss them. And so the purpose of today's conversation is lesbian parenting. If you're out there, I don't care where you're at on the interim, on the whole spectrum. You may be a single person dating a woman with children for the first time. You know, how do you deal with that? And please be very, very clear. It is not a bad thing. It is merely a different thing. Some of us really love being around 5, 7, 9, 13 children. I am not one of those people. Clearly, I am not one of those people. I love my 2 children. I love them. I don't see why I have to have them with 7 other kids. That's always my pinch, you know. So, what about the couples out there who you met your partner had 3 children, and now you married her, so now you both have 3 children. How do you deal with the time management, time, that you still have time to date them, to date their mother? And or is she always so busy? It's the kids.
Yeah, but Sharon and I do date night. So we do have, even if the kids are here, whether they're here or not, we schedule date night, and we make that important, that we do have that one-on-one time. And when the kids are here, I get that personal time with them too. So like we were saying earlier, it has worked out by the grace of God, because it could have gone the other way. But at the same time, I felt bad about a lot of it, because I knew Sharon was a good person. I knew, I loved her. I wanted to be with her. I wanted to marry her. But then I thought, well, she's good for me, but was she really good for the kids too?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing. It's like, if someone loves you, do they love your children as well? So,
whoa. You say that again, because that's what it's all about.
yeah. So if someone loves you, do they love your children? So that's a big question.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, recognize those, red flags if you get some. If Sharon had came into the house and, arguing all the time or yelling about something or chastising my kids or something like that, we would not be here right now talking. I can tell you, I can guarantee you that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I knew she was a nice person. I knew she was going through dealing with, I've never raised any children, so I don't know, what to do. The children's like, I've never even had a stepfather, let alone a stepmother. So now they have to introduce their mother and their stepmother. So, they had to adjust to a lot too. And my daughter, probably about 2 years ago, I think is when, she became okay with it because she had met this friend and with her friend, she said, oh yeah, my mother's, married to a woman. It was okay with her. Before, she just didn't tell anybody. It was just like, oh yeah, that's my mom, and she would keep it going. But, so I kind of knew at that point that she was really okay with it. So, and I'm not saying, we have the magic potion.
No.
I'm not saying that we know everything. We love to hear other suggestions on how you all are dealing with it and how it affects you in your home or just some of the stories that you may want to share. We would love to hear that. I can always grow. So, and I, am always looking to grow, especially when it comes to, parenting. I love my children and my life is for them. I am here to help them.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm surely getting better at parenting myself because, like I say, I'm old school. I make no apologies for it. I do believe if I say it, I asked you to do it. It needs to be done. It's not a friendly request. And that's the way I feel about things. And I expected dishes to be done by 7, and so now I've relaxed a lot. Rosa blames it, because I'm prior military, I'm retired Navy. I don't think it's that. I just think it's a combination of so many things. I go back to my childhood, and we did what was told, and we didn't ask too many questions. And like children today have changed. It's just why do I have to do it? Well, I don't want to do it right now, and I'm not used to that kind of feedback from a child. So they're still working on me.
Yeah, and I think that too is one of the reasons why Sharon and I found it very hard to get past it because she's like, oh, well, children need to stay in their place and blah, 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 blah. And that happened when I was growing up too. We walked in a room full of grown-ups. You just had to say hi and keep it going. You could not sit down, talk to them as though you were part of the conversation. I wanted to change that narrative for my family. Yeah. I wanted my children to be able to sit and know how it is to talk to adults. So to sit down in the room with adults, they find out their vocabulary grows, they understand how you're supposed to talk to people, they get that learning, and that was my whole thing. So Sharon was like, she wasn't trying to have that, but my whole lesson in bringing my kids up, I wanted a different outcome from what I was, how I was brought up because, I've seen the effects of that and I'm okay and my sister's okay and some of my siblings okay, but some people are not okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah. And with the, I had come up with the, as we move along in the conversation, but I did come up with one idea which I thought was good, for me to, to learn more about my new stepchildren. We would go out every other Sunday, we would go out somewhere for dinner and we would rotate, each one of us would get a week that we can choose the restaurant to go to. Now, that can get a little dangerous because now me and Rosa, we're okay. We know what the finances are, but we're raising a daughter who evidently, she was a queen or a princess in her last life. She loves expensive high-end dining. Now you put her over here at Tyler, and then Peyton, he's like, long as you take him to Burger King he is a happy young man. So when we go out to dinner, it was like either we're going to just spend $13 or $130.
Yeah, my son always wanted to go to Burger King, so we hated when it was his turn to pick. But you know, we at least gave them that you know, the option, just so that they'll know, you know, they are important. The family, they are part of the family, and we are all in this together.
Right,
So,
and making decisions for the family is part of it. But moving on about the other dynamics as far as parenting, you know, like in your relationships, ladies, it's you know, children change your life. When you are in a partnership, a marriage, a connection with another woman who has children, maybe it's your own children, or maybe you got artificially inseminated, maybe you're adopted, maybe you're taking care of foster children, or she already had children before she came into the relationship, or you had children before you came in a relationship, or you both have kids, and then it becomes your kids, my kids, the kids, and you know, like I say, it's so many shades to this, you know, but when you do have children, and you're dealing with the emotional connections with the children, personally as a younger woman, when I was out there dating, I did not want to date women with children, because my thing was, you get close to the child and you know, you're feeling good with the kid, and all of a sudden things go south with the relationship, and there you are missing the kid more than you miss their mother. You know, those kind of things. I didn't want to break their heart, and they don't want to break my heart. Finances. When we have children, it impacts our finances. The way I look at things financially is so different now, because it's not just about what Sharon wants to do, it's Sharon and the family. When we plan vacations, you know, is this something that, are me and Rosa going to have a little getaway for 3 days, or is the whole family coming and now we're going to do something for a whole week, you know? And you know, so I'm definitely thinking differently. What about the where the kids are going to go to school? What about discipline? Oh, that gets touchy. Mm-hmm. What happens if you're dealing with a woman who doesn't believe in discipline? We know there's all different kind of styles of parenting out there. You know, whether they're uninvolved, or disciplinarian, or authoritarian, or how about I have children, but I let them do their own thing. They don't have a curfew. They come home when they get tired, and you're like, are you kidding me? You know, everyone has a different attitude about how, you know, they have a different opinion on how to raise children. What about the family connections and just relationships with other children? So all I'm saying is that when you are dealing with women, and we now have children, and we now are a family, it changes the whole complexion of your relationship. Yeah. And as Rosa said, you know, like, you know, we still make sure, I always say, feed yourself first, make sure that we're okay. Because if we're okay, the kids will be okay.
Absolutely. And you know, when I think about it, it's like, just because I'm a lesbian, parenting to me is still the same. So whether, you know, I was married to my children's father, so it's like I knew what straight life was, and you know, my parenting styles have not changed from that. So for me, you know, lesbian parenting is just parenting. You know, mm-hmm. You're going to, you know, make some mistakes, and you're gonna, you know, make a home run. So you have to, you know, for me, I learn from, you know, either one of them. Mm-hmm. So whether I'm making mistakes, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to talk to my kids, you know. And some suggestions for you all is just have open and honest dialogue with your children. Be realistic with expectations. You know, include children in active dialogue. And that was like a big thing for me. I want to know what your thought is. I want to know how you're feeling. If somebody's, you know, bothering you, you don't feel right about this, that, and the other. And even with my kids, we had codes. If my daughter or son went to sleep at someone's house, we always had a code. If they texted me the code or called me, and that is all they needed to do, I was the one who would, you know, make up whatever I need to make up to come get my kids, because it just, you know, they just felt uncomfortable in any situation. So I always wanted them to know that they were important, and, you know, to give them that. So, you know, I mean, with kids, you just have to be, you know, open and feasible to change. Mm-hmm.
So those are some things, as you know, Rose, some of the things that, a few, but some suggestions from us. We'd like to know, how you feel about it
Yeah.
and your ideas, and we'd
Absolutely.
love to hear your stories. There's several ways to get a hold of us, Rosa.
Yeah, so definitely here you can make a comment below on our YouTube channel, or you can visit us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Sharon and Rosa. We would love to, or just friend us if you are not our friend yet. So that'll be great. Also on our Instagram, and we are Team Will Bar on Instagram. That's TeamWillBarr. Team Will Bar. So we would love to hear from you.
Oh, and before we go, one thing we didn't do is we didn't introduce you to our little sweetie, and this is Miss Nina Simone.
This is our 12-year-old daughter, Nina Simone. So we're parents for four, fur dogs, fur babies,
Fur
how they call them.
babies. That's my fur baby.
So we're
absolutely.
parents to a fur baby, and we're parents to two
Yeah.
beautiful teenagers.
Right. So she was getting a little jealous that we were paying attention to the camera and not her. But so we hope this helps, and like I said, this at least if we can just thread the needle a little bit and start the dialogue about that, because like I said, we'd love to hear from you. How's it going for you guys in that particular situation? Dare I regress, but there's so much going on out there, and you run into so many different situations and all. But I tell Rosa jokingly some of the things I have experienced, and I remember this is years ago, but I dated a woman for about 3 months before she told me she had children. And she had 4 children, and I don't know why you don't tell people you have kids. And I had asked her later, I'm like, why did you tell me about the kids? And she said, quite frankly, I didn't want to run you off. So that's out there too, like everyone doesn't want to be a mommy. All right, what happens when you're, mommy of the year and your partner is not so much. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there. So in any event, until next time, I'm asking that I'm wishing everyone the very best.
Of all good things. Stay safe and stay woke.
Take care.
Till next time. Say bye, Nina.